Good evening, everyone. I'm Tim Steinhauer, Superintendent of the Mount Lebanon School District, and I'm glad you're here to join me for Mindful Parenting. Tonight, we're going to learn about a few strategies and ideas for helping ourselves and our children navigate some trying and anxious times. And then we'll also give you some skills and techniques that you can use to help them with their day-to-day stresses that come up, preparing for a test, preparing to sing a solo in front of people, competing on the athletic field. So all of these strategies that we're going to talk about tonight can be used to help our children navigate this difficult and challenging time. So mindful parenting. I often use this analogy of a snow globe to show what is going on in our minds. And as you can see, we have lots of things going on in there, thinking about what we're going to make for dinner, thinking about picking our children up from school or getting them to a recital, getting them to practice on time, helping them with their homework, and then doing your own things that you have to do. As many of you have jobs, many of you are preparing throughout the day to do different things. It's a lot of things going on in our minds. And we use a snow globe to remind us that every once in a while, we have to just take a break and slow down and let our minds just settle for a minute. And when we can stop and just take a breath, just let things settle for just 1 minute. Many of you are very, very busy throughout the day. It gives us the opportunity to see much more clearly. So when your day feels like this, a million things going on, then you can look at this and just take a break for a minute. And just let those thoughts and ideas come and go. And the more you shake it, the quicker it calms down. So think about the snow globe from time to time. Parenting can be difficult enough. Here's a little video I'd like to show you from our friend Dan Harris. Dan is a news anchor on ABC News, and Dan has done a lot of work with mindfulness, and he made this little cartoon to explain what mindfulness is.
You may have heard this word mindfulness. It's become something of a buzz phrase of late. I'm going to give you one simple, serviceable definition, which is this. Mindfulness is the ability to know what's happening in your head at any given moment without getting carried away by it. Imagine how useful this could be. Just as an example, you're driving down the road and somebody cuts you off in traffic. How do you normally react? I think most of us, we normally react by having a thought, which is, I'm pissed. And then what happens next? You immediately, habitually, reflexively inhabit that thought. You actually become pissed. There's no buffer between the stimulus and your reaction. With just a little bit of mindfulness, in that same situation, you might notice my chest is buzzing, my ears are turning red, I'm having a starburst of self-righteous thoughts, I'm getting angry. But you don't necessarily have to act on it and chase that person down the road, screaming at them with your kids in the back of the car thinking you've gone nuts. Now, you might be thinking, don't I need to get angry sometimes? Aren't I justified? I would say yes, but probably not as much as you think. The proposition here is not that you should be rendered by mindfulness into some lifeless, non-judgmental blob. The proposition is that you should learn how to respond wisely to things that happen to you, rather than just reacting blindly. And that, my friends, is a superpower. How do you get it? The way to get it is through meditation. I believe that meditation and mindfulness are the next big public health revolution. In the 1940s, if you told somebody you were going running, they would have said, who's chasing you? But then what happened next? The scientists swooped in, they showed that physical exercise is really good for you, and now all of us do it, and if we don't, we feel guilty about it. And that's where I think we're headed with mindfulness and meditation. It's going to join the pantheon of no-brainers like brushing your teeth, eating well, and taking the meds your doctor prescribes for you. Let me just close by saying, mindfulness is not going to solve all of your problems. It's not going to render your life a nonstop parade of unicorns and rainbows. Nonetheless, this is a superpower, and one that is accessible by you immediately.
That was a nice short video to talk about the value of mindfulness and give you a definition, being present in the moment. So why do we do mindfulness? When we're mindful, we reduce stress, enhance performance, gain insight and awareness through observing our own mind, and increase our attention to others' well-being. This is all backed up by a long line of research that suggests that being mindful is a way to accomplish all these goals. We often use this picture to describe what it's like to be mindful. Remember, we talked about that snow globe and all the things that are going around. And for those of you who have a dog or an animal that you take out for a walk, or a pet that you take out for a walk, this describes me a lot of times when I'm out in the morning taking Wishbone out for a walk. I'm thinking of a million things that are going on in my life. I'm thinking about getting ready for work, what I have upcoming in the day, what we're going to have for dinner, preparing for a presentation, what am I going to wear? All those things are going through my head. And for my dog, Wishbone, you can see Wishbone's got one thing on his mind: what's actually happening at this moment. So when we think about mindfulness, we think about being present in this moment. And you can see Wishbone is right there, sees the two trees and sees the sunlight. And in our minds, oftentimes I've taken him for a walk and didn't realize everything that I saw, or I missed things that occurred while I was out for that walk. Another way to think about that is, how many of you have washed your hair or finished your shower and then wondered if, oh, did I wash my hair for that? Or driven to work and don't remember all the stops because you do it so automatic. You have a million things going on in your head during that time. So that's what being mindful is: being present in this moment, paying attention to the things that are happening right now. I love this little picture. It's being where your feet are. So be here right now, not worried about the past because the past is over, not worried about the future because the future isn't here yet, but being present in this moment, right where your feet are, being with your children, being with your family, being with your coworkers. Be here right now. Mindfulness has also helped us think about self-care. And last year, when we were flying in airplanes, we all have seen this picture or one similar to it that talks about taking care of yourself, putting the oxygen mask on you first before you take care of others. So if you don't bring your best self to your work, to your parenting, you're not able to do the same for your children or to help your family do that. So think about self-care, taking care of yourself before you take care of others. And there are 4 basic strategies of self-care. It's sleep. We all know that we need to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and probably during COVID, not all of us were able to do that. Our sleep has been disrupted. But there are things that we can do to help prepare us to go to sleep, such as not watching TV in your bedroom, not leaving your cell phone on or having your computer the last thing you do with some of that light, that blue light that comes through. So there are things that we can do to help us sleep better. Eating. We all know that there are strategies that we can use to eat better. And the list of what we should eat and drink is intuitive to us all. We know that we should eat more fruits and vegetables and limit our intake of certain other foods. So eating is just as important as that self-care strategy. Movement, just going out for a short walk every day. It doesn't have to be a long distance runner or a long distance cycler or some really strenuous activity, but it can be just as simple as going out for a walk and making sure that each day we're trying to get some of that movement in. And then the fourth strategy is how we think. And that's what mindfulness brings us back to, is what is going on in our minds at any given moment, and be aware of those thoughts and ideas that are coming and going. So sleep, eat, move, and think. There are many different ways to take care of yourself and to do some self-care. These are just a few pictures of some of the ways that people use to be mindful and take care of themselves. Yoga, of course, is a mindful activity because it prepares your body for that ending pose so that your body is loose and relaxed and that you can end in a mindful moment at the end. The middle picture is of journaling, writing down our thoughts and ideas as they come up throughout the day. Has been shown to be an effective strategy to help us be more clear in our thoughts. Mindful self-compassion, and we'll talk a little bit about that later, is being compassionate towards yourself. Oftentimes, it's very easy for us to be compassionate towards others, but sometimes we're not compassionate to ourselves. So mindful self-compassion. Just being out in nature. There are two pictures at the bottom. I guess there's three pictures that show people out in nature, whether it's just listening to music as you're outside, or if it's going fly fishing, being out in nature, doing things that you like to do that you can focus on, and even that center picture of mindful eating. So eating can be a very mindful practice. Sometimes we gobble through our food and we forgot what we had, or we spend 2 hours making food and we finish it in 10 minutes. Let's take time to savor our food. So those are some self-care strategies that people use. The next video I'd like to show you is we talked a little bit about Nature RX. And this is a story about being out in nature. It's a funny little video that I'm sure you're going to like.
Do you find yourself longing for the apocalypse? I did. I was looking for a reason to live. Hi. Are you feeling tired, irritable, stressed out? Well, you might consider nature.
From the people that brought you Getting Outside comes prescription-strength Nature, a non-harmful medication shown to relieve the crippling symptoms of modern life.
Nature is recommended for humans of all ages, and it's great for pets too.
Nature can reduce cynicism, meaninglessness, anal retentiveness, and murderous rage. In clinical studies, Nature is proven to decrease work-induced catatonia.
Caution. Nature may cause you to slow down, quit your job, or seriously consider what the you're doing with your life.
If you are overly cynical, jaded, or emotionally numb, you may need to increase your dose of Nature. Do you have trouble being even mildly uncomfortable? Nature may not be right for you. Side effects may include spontaneous euphoria, taking yourself less seriously, and being in a good mood for no apparent reason.
So ask your doctor if nature is right for you.
So that's a little tongue-in-cheek about getting out in nature, but oftentimes just getting out in the woods, going for a walk, getting out on the water are things that have the remarkable ability to calm us down a little bit. So Nature RX, next time you're feeling a little stressed out, you can tell your family you've been prescribed a little Nature RX to help get through the day. One of the simplest ways to be mindful and to be present and to see more clearly is just the process of being aware of our breath. And it's really that simple, being aware of your breath. So breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. So you're bringing in oxygen and you're blowing out carbon dioxide. So it's a cycle of bringing in the good and pushing out the bad. It stimulates our parasympathetic nervous system, which ultimately is one of our calming elements in our bodies. So just that simple strategy of taking a breath. My mom used to say, Tim, just take a breath, just calm down. And she was right. Just taking a breath and remembering to do that. I know that we do it automatically, but when we are consciously aware of taking a breath, it's helpful. Oftentimes when I'm in a stressful situation or in a stressful meeting, I'll notice that my shoulders start to creep up and I feel like I'm taking a lot of short, shallow chest breaths. And what we have to remember to do is relax our shoulders, relax our stomach, and just try to take a deep breath. This is one of the little props we use to help us be mindful and take that breath. And I use this with kids a lot. Just taking that deep breath on the way out. And letting go. Breathing in. And one more. So if you watch my other video that I do for you and your child, we'll do some of that breathing. And this is a really nice prop that we use with children. But even us using that visual cue of taking a breath in and letting it go out reminds us how important our breathing is in our life cycle. Another little strategy we like to use is called box breathing. And believe it or not, box breathing is a strategy used by the Navy SEALs and a lot of other people who are in stressful type situations. And it's really easy that you just breathe in for 4 through the nose, hold for 4 counts, breathe out for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, and you take that cycle around. I have a friend of mine who does this every night before she goes to bed, and she swears it's the best sleeping aid that you can use. So let's try this one together. So we're going to breathe in through the nose, hold out through the mouth, hold in through the nose. And we'll do a couple cycles to go around. Breathing is so important. So let's start. Ready? In through the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, and out through the mouth, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, and in, hold, out, hold, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. This is a really successful strategy with children and with adults, and we've done it with our leadership team here in the school district. This is one of those strategies when you need to calm down. Often we have to practice responding rather than reacting. And oftentimes There are certain circumstances where we have to react immediately, but there are also certain circumstances when we can stop, gather our thoughts, and then respond. And these breathing exercises gives us little space between that stimulus and response, between that reaction and that responding. So I gave you 3 simple breathing strategies to go through. Here's another video that we like a lot, and it's about gratitude. And you'll hear some interesting information about gratitude during this. So I'm just going to turn it on and let you watch it.
Shut up.
What? Wait.
Oh, he's gonna be so embarrassed.
What makes you happy? Having fun? Hanging out with friends? Delicious food? Making money? Well, consider this. Psychologists have scientifically proven that one of the greatest contributing factors to overall happiness in your life is how much gratitude you show. Yeah? Think about that. Go ahead and marinate on it for a second. You can thank me later if you want. It'll make you feel better according to this study. You go ahead and click on it and read it if you want. Or you can keep watching because we read it. And we thought it might be fun to test out for ourselves. We gathered a selection of volunteers to act as our subjects. First, we gave them a test. They didn't know what we were looking for, but it gave us a pretty good idea of their current level of happiness. We asked them to close their eyes and think of somebody who was really influential in their life, somebody who did something really amazing or important for them. We had them write down as much as they could about why this person was so important. Now, a lot of them thought at this point the experiment was over, until we really put them on the spot and tried to get them to call that person and read what they wrote about them. Yes. We're going to have you call your mother. So who was that right person for you?
Person is my sister, Erica.
We're going to give Erica a call.
Okay.
Who'd you end up picking?
Friend of mine, Greg Haynes.
Her name is Dora.
My college accounting instructor.
Really? Is this somebody you're still in touch with today?
No, I'm assuming that he's passed on.
That's a
To the
shame.
great beyond.
You up for it?
Yes.
What would you say if we called up Dora?
Oh, we can try, but she lives in Britain.
In Britain?
Oh, no, never by heart. This is awful.
That's fine. I don't know my mom's number by heart.
If it's true that those who are going on are looking down on us, maybe he read my chicken scratch.
Hey, sweetheart.
Hey, how you doing? You got a second? Where you at, the hotel?
I am. I'm scared. Something's wrong.
No, I'm on like this little TV show, and they told me to talk about the person that influenced me the most, and I picked you, and they're making me call. They're making me call you.
Oh, wonderful!
Hi, this is Greg. I'm here right now.
At the tone, please record your message.
Oh, come on.
Hello?
Hi. Erica? It's me.
All right, so I got to read you this paragraph. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
All right, the person that influenced me the most would be my mother, Marlo Dawson. She is a single mother of 2. She is a very hard worker and dedicated to her family.
Hey, Craig. This is Chloe. This is going to be a funny little voicemail, so I hope you enjoy it. I'm so sorry for calling you at 4 o'clock in the morning. I have to read this to you, okay? And you can't say anything or, I don't know. You can respond, but I probably will just keep going. Okay?
Is everything okay?
Yes, but I have to read this out loud to you.
The person that has had the biggest impact on my life outside of Jesus Christ, who was responsible for my existence, was my college accounting instructor. He had a joy and enthusiasm for his job like no other teacher I have ever known.
I love her to death, and she keeps me going with positive talk. She is a woman that knows what she wants and won't give up until it is achieved.
I don't know what I'm about to cry because it's beautiful. I have to say that it's wonderful.
I first met Craig on an independent feature film set in Whitefish, Montana. I recently have been sending Craig a lot of positive thoughts as he suffered a series of health problems. Despite his medical problems, he's continued to work and take pleasure in the small things in life, like sitting quietly with his wife Janine on the porch. Erica is my older sister and my best friend. Sometimes it even feels like we are twins. She's my number one fan and my number one supporter. She makes me happy because despite all my mistakes and my decisions, she still loves me no matter what. Your friendship is everything. And you are one of the most important person in my life. Even when she has a kid and many children, I will love her more than her kids. Okay, maybe not. I will never forget when she flew 3,000 miles at the drop of a phone call to save me from a breakup.
And being blessed by having a son like you. I love you.
Bye.
What did you do?
I don't know because they made me do it. Thank you for picking up. Bye, sweetie. And then they're like, here, you're gonna write this letter. And then I wrote like this whole long ass letter, which, you know, I like don't write. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, guess what? Now we're gonna call her and you're gonna read her this letter. I was like, what the?
Before we let them go, we gave our subjects one more happiness test. Now, we mixed up and rephrased the questions so they didn't know they were taking the same test twice. For those who took the time to actually write something down but couldn't make the phone call for whatever reason, we saw happiness increase between 2 and 4%. Good, but not exactly mind-blowing. Now, for those who actually picked up the phone and personally expressed their gratitude, we saw increases between 4 and 19%. So either way, expressing your gratitude will make you a happier person. But you want to know something really interesting? The person who experienced the biggest jump in happiness was the least happy person who walked in the door. What does that mean? That means if you're having a particularly tough time, trying this out will more likely have a greater impact on you. Trust me. I'm in a lab coat. In fact, while you're at it, film it and upload it to us. And we'll do something awesome with it. I'm Julian, and this has been The Science of Happiness.
That's just a lovely video, and every time we watch it, certainly makes us feel emotional and reminds us to think back and be grateful for all the people in our lives that helped us get to where we are and help us on a daily basis. So one of the strategies that they suggest is to write a thank you note to somebody you maybe haven't seen for a while that has had a major impact on your life and has really touched you or helped you during a trying time. And actually write them a real letter, put it in an envelope and put a real stamp on it and send it in the mail. And as I said, not only do you get something, but the person that you gave it to will also get something from it. There's also another strategy about gratitude is just thinking about 3 things that you're grateful for at the end of the day. And I know we're all very busy. There's a lot of very difficult things going on right now, but trying to think of 3 things that made your day a little bit brighter. Like I try to remember to do this every night at the end of the day before I go to sleep, is writing down just 3 things that I'm grateful for. So, for example, I'm grateful for Wishbone. Wishbone is our dog that we rescued about 2 years ago, and he has brought great joy and happiness to our family. I'm grateful and thankful for this job. This job gives me the opportunity to touch the lives of children and adults, and hopefully I can do that in a positive way. And finally, I'm thankful for my wife. My wife has been supportive of me throughout my entire career, and we have really grown to be best friends, and I'm very thankful for her. So 3 things at the end of the night. So Wishbone, this job, and my wife. So think about it. Think about keeping a journal and writing down things that you're grateful and happy for. So mindful is for everyone. And mindfulness is an umbrella under which there are different activities that you can do that are mindful activities, like mindful eating, just mindful walking, mindful listening to people. But a piece of that is also about meditation. And I do teach meditation as a practice, as a mindful practice. And every religious tradition has some type of meditative practice, not just Eastern religion, but in my church, we have a practice of prayer. In the Catholic Church, there's a practice of doing the rosary and being mindful while you're doing that. So meditation is a practice that we try to do. I particularly use this app called Headspace, and there are many others. Dan Harris, the gentleman who spoke at the beginning of our presentation, has a 10% Happier app that has a lot of good things in it. There's a Calm app that you may have seen advertised, but there are quite a few apps that are out there to help guide you through this practice. So you really don't need to know anything to practice meditation. So this Headspace app that I use talks about 10 minutes a day. And I usually try to do that first thing in the morning before I get my day started. And I just show up. And some days I can really find a calm and peaceful place, or see things more clearly as I'm thinking, as thoughts come and go from our heads. And it's just about showing up and taking 10 minutes out of your day or 15 minutes out of your day and being mindful. So I'm going to lead you through a mindfulness meditation practice. And it's very simple. It's always with you. It's free. You don't have to have any special equipment. You don't have to have any special instruction. It's really about just being present with the thoughts that are going through your mind and noting those and coming back to your breath. I use my breath as my anchor for this process. So you'll hear me talk about returning to your breath or focusing on your breath. So let's try it together. So we're going to do a short meditation, probably about 3 minutes long. And if you're comfortable, sit up straight in your chair, or you can lie down. Sometimes when you lie down, you fall asleep. But sit up straight in your chair. Put your feet flat down on the floor. Be present in this moment. And if you're comfortable, you can close your eyes, or you can just lower your gaze. And we'll start with that practice of taking a few deep breaths. So in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And the first thing we do is try to be present in our space right now. So that may mean hearing the sounds that are around us. Maybe you might hear the dishwasher or the children in the other room. Just notice those sounds that are occurring right now. And then we move to how our body feels, and we're paying attention in this moment to how our body feels. How do we feel in general? And then we'll do a short body scan from the top of our head. Slowly scan down from the top of our head, down our necks, into our shoulders, our back, our lower back, our waist, our sit bones, our thighs, our knees, just noticing how they feel and moving on. Our shins, our calves, our ankles, and our feet. And then what I'd like you to do is find your breath. So if you're breathing in and out through your nose, where are you feeling that sensation of your breath? Is it in your chest? Is it in your belly? Or your nostrils? See if you can pay attention to breathing in and breathing out. And it's normal for lots of thoughts to come. It's been a busy day. Maybe you have more things to do tonight. And just notice those, that thought or feeling you have in your back or your neck, and just coming back to that anchor of your breath. And we really develop our mindfulness muscle by letting that thought be noted, thinking, and coming back to your breath. Doing those repetitions of noticing the distraction and coming back to the breath. Breathing in and breathing out. It's as simple as that. Just letting those thoughts come and go. Just sitting, being aware. And let's take one last deep breath in and breathe out through the mouth. And just for a moment, let your mind do whatever it would like to do. If that's think or relax, just let your mind do whatever it wants to do at this moment. And bring ourselves back into this space by maybe hearing the sounds of water running or a furnace running or the kids playing outside. Bringing yourself back into your body where you feel the connection to the floor or to the chair. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And just that process of taking just 3 minutes can help us find clarity, can help us be aware of what we're thinking about, and just helps us to prepare ourselves for that day. It's very similar to that snow globe with all those things going around and just finding some time to slow them down. And finally, I want to thank you for joining me. And this is something mindfulness for you as a parent to help you take care of yourself so that you can better take care of others. So it's really about finding time for yourself. And some people would say this is a selfish act of worrying about yourself, but really to bring your best self to your family, to your work, is so critical and so important. I always end our sessions with some mindful self-compassion. It's okay to be nice to yourself every once in a while. And to, a lot of us have a lot of self-talk throughout the day, and it may not all be positive. And so we learned a practice called mindful self-compassion. And it's about finding and soothing yourself and wishing yourself the best. And sometimes we do it by finding a place on our body that makes us feel very good. Put your hand over your heart maybe and notice the sensation of that warmth from your hand on your heart. And if you repeat quietly to yourself, may I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be kind and compassionate to myself. And may I accept myself as I am. Again, thank you for joining me for Mindfulness for Parents. And if you're interested in this, there are a lot of resources that are out there. I also did another video, and you can watch that tonight. But the other video is designed to do with your children. So gather up your child, get ready, and let's do the next video. So thank you for joining me tonight.